All right, hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast with Bobby Melendez and Josh Kimmel. I'm, of course, Bobby. That's Josh, my tag team partner on No Holds Barred. Josh, what's up, brother?
Nothing, man. Hanging out. Where's the old man with the pillow that we had last week? Where's old Sleepy Joe? I had a lot of people tell me, like, why is this man sleeping in y'all show? Y'all put. He's like, were you guys like Survivor Series putting people to sleep? I'm like, no, dude, we were bringing the energy. We were bringing the energy.
we waking him up. Yeah, no. And talk about Finn Stanza. Appreciate him tuning in and joining us last week. Talk not Survivor Series. Yeah, right.
It was Survivor Series.
Survivor Series. I'm old. I forget shit. I woke up early this morning. I coached my son's basketball game 1 of the season. We won.
All
It was awesome. A couple 3-pointers from the crew. I was proud of them. I was like, all right. Defense was awesome. So, I don't know how to lose. Kind of like in my old wrestling days, 14-time world champion, heavyweight champion. So it was cool to kind of still be that in that winning situation. Because if I would have lost, kids probably would have been choke slammed. There probably could have been a couple chair shots on the kids. I probably would not have been on this episode, but happy to be here.
I'm surprised you guys keep score. I'm just surprised you guys keep score in your leagues.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen in my leagues. My kids are just running around the bases. No one knows what's going on. We all get trophies, sportsman of the year, whatever. We're cool.
I try to be cool. I don't, I don't actively go and like try to look at the score. I'll like look like this. I'm looking at the kids. Go here, go there, do this. Put your hands up. And I go, all right. We're winning by 10, guys. 10-0. Let's keep it up. Keep it up. You missed a shot. Sit down. But
let me ask you this before we get into it, because we're going to talk about some professional wrestling.
We are
maybe some matches here and there. What is the natural score of a kid's basketball game? Like 12-3?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. 12-4 today was the final score of today's game. I will say, I will tell you though. Last year, my first game was 36-0. I won 36-0. So that when they said, what was the we won? Oh, good job. What was the final score? 36-0. They went, what the hell? So yes, there are times where you can actually hit that, but yes, the average score for kids that young, I'm 7 and 8 years old.
Yep.
Is right. You just said 12-4, maybe 16. And then yes, we have hit 30 plus before, which I was hoping. So I'm kind of disappointed in my kids. I will have them run laps in practice on Monday, but for right now, a win's a win. We're good. But let's get into some wrestling. Daniel, what's up, my man? Appreciate you tuning in. Tati, wifey, checking in. Must behave. Can't talk about Trish Stratus or Stacy Keibler or
whatever you said last week. I forgot what you said last week, but man, she was not happy. I forgot what you said, but it was not good.
Where does Brock Lesnar live? Saskatchewan. And I'm like, where's that? You created by one of Bobby. I was like, oh shit. She got me after I got out of that room too. She's like, tell me you really don't. Tell me you know where that is. I was like, it's called an act. I'm like,
this is a work.
I know where it was. What?
Mark. What a mark.
She doesn't get it. She doesn't understand. It's not. It wasn't a shoot. Come on. I'm using wrestling here. Yeah. Let's get into it. We got people tuning in, and we appreciate everybody watching. This is what we do, like laid back, have some fun. But my goodness, very quick, man. Awesome week for WWE. At least in my opinion, Josh. I haven't spoken to you about this week. Well, maybe we have on text a little bit. But overall, Monday Night Raw was awesome. SmackDown was intriguing because you're starting, they announced it on SmackDown, but if you weren't paying attention, you see Gunther talking to Nick Aldis, the world champion on Raw. And then you see Dominic Mysterio in the background, and these are Raw guys. And they announce that there's a transfer window, like in college. They're going to have a transfer window where they can do trades, and you're going to have a mix-up of stars. Obviously, they're going to stack the deck for Raw and Netflix. That's what they're doing. So I got to get you. I am a 14-time champion. I don't know why she puts the quotes. I am. I don't. Whatever.
It's in the record book.
It's there. I mean, whatever, hater. I got the belt. I should go get it. It's right there on the wall behind me, but I actually legitimately got it. I'll pull it out. I'll show you where the battle scars are. Anywho, I gotta ask you, dude, because when I saw that, I was like, I gotta. So your thoughts on this transfer window? You know, if obviously if Gunther comes over to SmackDown, you lose the opportunity at John Cena versus Gunther,
Yep.
right?
Oh
But
yeah.
if Gunther comes to SmackDown, does Cody automatically jump to Raw? And if he goes to Raw, what happens with that story there? That now is John Cena chasing the Raw, the WWE title, which would make sense since he has more history with that belt.
Mm-hmm.
All very intriguing. So I want to get your first off your reaction to the transfer window, and then the possibilities of what could like. Obviously, we haven't done our homework too much on it. I know we like to do that, but just off the top of your head, Booker in your mind, like shit, man,
Yep.
I would put this guy here, and possibly could do this.
Yep.
Very quick.
Yep, very quick. We need Gunther away from Raw, put him on SmackDown, get that title off of that. Same thing for the women's title. They're basically the same. The World Heavyweight title mirrors the men's, and the women's they look exactly the same. So you would have to move both. They'd have to be uniform. So if one moves, the other one has to move. Same thing for the WWE title and the women's title on SmackDown. Yes, it makes so sense. I think I said this when we first talked about Cena coming over and going for the title, and I even said going for that secondary title just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't feel the same. It's not special. So if you move that WWE title to Raw, where Cena can actually go for that instead, a more meaningful title, not some made up secondhand title like Gunther's carrying. Not that it's a bad title, but you know what I'm getting at. John Cena's not coming back for a minor league title. He's coming back for the title. And this could set up Cena and Cody. This could be we think we know something. We think we know this, and then that happens. We think we know that Seth is going to be the 5th member of War Games because Bronson Reed joined, but then CM Punk happened. Triple H, we think a tag team's going to break up, but then they just turn on their former partner, and then they just turn. Yeah, so we just think things are going to happen, and they just don't. So we don't know. Just because Gunther's a massive heel from a foreign land doesn't mean the almighty hero American John Cena needs to beat him up. It could be Cody, and it could be just as good. And maybe we see a heel Cody because he's the heel right now. But yeah, I think we need to shake some things up. Drew needs to move over to SmackDown, get away from CM Punk, keep Punk on the A show. There's this LA Knight. He is stale over there. I think that's why they took the title off of him to move him to Raw. People are missing that. I think that's a situation where he needs to go somewhere else. It's going to be good. It to me, it's a way where Netflix and was like, no. We're getting the people we want, and USA Network's like, okay, whatever. It's just an excuse to do it. I think it's okay. I'm here for it.
I'm on board for it. And again, you just brought up Gunther being a top flight heel, but he did not come off as a heel on Raw this past week when he was facing Priest, or not Priest, excuse me, Survivor Series. Was it?
Well, can I say something about that, little Bobby?
Yeah.
He's never been a heel like that. He's even as an Intercontinental Champion, he was always, I will take you on, I will beat you fair and square. He always has. I didn't like when, if you're here, Finn Stanza, you can speak for yourself, but you always say he cheated. No, he didn't. He never cheated. He never
cheated. No,
he hardly cheats. He's a heel. He's a random heel, a very, very niche heel that doesn't cheat to win. And if he does, it's not on him. He gets upset about it. He's told Kaiser and the other homeboy many times, stay away from my match. They come out anyway, and he gets upset with them. Gunther has been against Cody. Gunther was the baby face against Cody, but we all booed him because it's Cody. I think it's natural if they turn him babyface over there. I think it'd be natural. He could do both parts.
Yeah, he could do both parts, and that's I think it'll be good for him. It's a fresh start on SmackDown, and I think it would be better for SmackDown because really Cody, then that title should be on Raw. It makes a lot more sense, and obviously for LA Knight going to Raw makes a lot of sense too. It's very intriguing. I'm very interested to see how they play that out. And is that the way to break up the Judgment Day? Obviously, you see Finn is, he attacked Priest, and they're like, dude, I thought we said we were going to leave Priest alone. You see some fractures there, and that might be a way to actually break them up. And shout out to Dominic Mysterio for putting up one hell of a match against Gunther, too on Raw. That was Very cool to see. But you talked about two tag teams that seem, or a tag team that seemed like they were going to break up, and all of a sudden it kind of turned around. And that goes for DIY yesterday as well. I am going to touch on them. I thought that was a very cool flip. Like, it was like, whoa, what the, that was cool. But holy crap. I'm going to be very, very honest. First of all the respect to the world to the New Day. All respect to them. They are one of the great factions, awesome tag teams and awesome trio of wrestlers. Kofi, former champion, Big E, I call him Apollo, but Xavier Woods, all three of them in their own right, but they're stale. I haven't given a crap about the New Days. That's how much I don't care. I haven't cared about them in a long time. They were just an act to me ever since they were the host of WrestleMania. It's like, damn, that's how far they've fallen. And it just wasn't. I'm very interested in them again. I wasn't interested in fighting at first. I wasn't really caring. I didn't make me want to watch it. I didn't really pay attention. I saw it afterwards, but I paid attention on Monday night when Big E was in that ring, and they flipped the script and went after Big E. And you thought Kofi and Xavier Woods were gonna break up and have a feud, and would really anybody give a damn about that feud? Really, really, and all, it seems like a filler. But how much do you care now that they are straight up heels, that they turn on their friend, their brother, basically tell them, dude, you betrayed us. You turned your back on us, and now they're more stronger than ever. And where does this lead? I'm very intrigued by this heel turn. Obviously more than the DIY thing. I thought DIY was slick. I thought that was cool. But this right here, this screams real heat. And like, I'm very intrigued to see, because I think this could jumpstart them to a whole other level. Do you feel the same way I do about what they did on Monday night?
Yeah, I don't want them to be a tag team in the division though. That's just my feeling. I would like to see this. I would like to see a heel Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston work together to get Woods his title, to get whatever title it may be, Intercontinental, United States title, hell, maybe even the WWE title. I mean, we could all wish, right? We could all dream. It happened with Kofi and Big E. Why not Xavier Woods? And then have Big E come back and get his revenge and take that title from Woods or whatever, maybe get that story going on. Because I think Big E is going to be cleared. To me, Bobby, and I mean this with all respect, I don't care about tag team. If you look at our spoiler, we have a card coming up where it's new versus old WWE, Attitude Era versus the new, the current era. I have no tag team matches because I couldn't think of a tag team worthy enough of fighting a legend tag team from the Attitude Era. And that's New Day as well, because I just don't care. When you have two divisions on two different shows and there's 4 teams each, and they just play merry-go-round on who's going to fight who each week, or just like on Raw, they don't even defend them at all. It's been about 3 or 4 months since we've even seen them on TV with Finn Balor and JD McDonough. That you can make them interesting, which they are. I'm here for the story. I just don't care about where do they go? Is it a heel tag team run? We've seen it. And does it matter if they're beating the same 3 teams week after week after week? We've seen it. We've seen these tag teams. I want to see something different. Let Kofi inspire a heel Woods to go on this singles run, because we haven't seen that. And that's what we want. I think that's what I want. I don't know how you feel about that. Would you appreciate a Woods heel run as a singles?
I don't want to see them, like, obviously as a pair, I'm cool with, but them chasing the Raw tag team titles, been there, done that. I don't want to see that. Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston called Woods out the week before. You haven't won a title. You haven't won a world title like me and Big E. You haven't done that. He had a crown out. First off, Big E's wife coming in clutch on social media with her shots. Yeah. That was cool. I love how that progresses the story. I love what WWE's done with that. But it has to be that. That has to be the mission. And Kofi could still do it too. But I think I'm with you. I think this should be a going after the IC title, or is it going after the US title? Or even is it something where he builds up this villain type of role? Xavier Woods, I'm going to call him Apollo again. Xavier Woods, and takes out, starts eventually going after a world title, a world champion, and I'm okay with that.
Yes.
Because he would be fun. And I mean, heel Xavier Woods is so interesting because we know what he is fun. We know what he is as a face. So him as a heel is going to be, it could be a Chris Jericho-like situation. Remember when Jericho won the Undisputed title? You could never get him to shut up about it. He still talks about it to this day. First Undisputed champion. He just did it. I think I saw on social media one time. That's what Xavier Woods could be.
Yeah.
This, and I mean, tell me if I'm off base, but I think he could be. He could be that type of heel. He could be that type of guy. That type of champion.
I agree, and I'm here for it. And that's the story I want to see play out. Tag team, uninterested. Woods singles run, Kofi there for support, interested. Sign me up for that. So that was a great set. That was probably the best segment of the entire week of all wrestling, in my opinion. That was nothing on Friday night was better. I think that Monday night segment with the New Day was phenomenal. Well done.
It stole the show. It stole the show. Everybody, and that's what's crazy because nobody has given a damn about the New Day. And when they tell you, 10 years celebrating the New Day. Okay. But no, they had their cards up their sleeve and they showed out. And like you said, I mean, nothing topped it. And because we're still talking about it enough, to bring it up now. And I'm intrigued. And, again, just very quick with DIY, the way that was going and how it just totally flipped. And when Gargano was like, that was easy when they, I don't know if you caught that part, but I was like, that is some classic heel right there. Heel turn, and
can I admit something?
Go ahead.
I didn't see it.
You haven't seen it. You didn't see it.
Okay. So long story. Shout out to Clutch and Chris Koffler, who I host Real Talk Wrestling with. We didn't go this week because my mother-in-law was in the hospital. I had to pick her up from surgery, and I dropped her off at 5 a.m. at the VA Veterans Hospital down there in Tampa. 5 a.m. I picked her up at 8 o'clock at night. She was there all day, so I didn't get to first off watch SmackDown because of driving to Tampa. Second off, I didn't even get to record Real Talk Wrestling because of.
Well, she's now okay. You made me feel like a dick because I didn't know that. And
she's okay. Well, she's safe. She's safe. Everything. It was all routine. It's just the VA slacked off, and why tell her to get there that early and have her there all freaking day?
Wait all day.
And I'm literally on call because I'm the only one that can pick her up. So
she's okay. That's all that matters.
She's okay. She's okay. So I watched the highlights of the important stuff. DIY wasn't on my important stuff list. Sorry.
Okay. That's okay. That's all right. So, full disclosure, I caught the highlights after. I have SmackDown recorded. I will, because my daughter again had a Christmas concert. Yeah. So, that's what it is. But I was following SmackDown. There's a lot of, first off, they've done a lot of attacks recently backstage. That's something that seems to be a running theme. Monday Night Raw, very quick. First off, Seth Rollins, I forgot who the three are, but Seth Rollins teasing a heel turn because of the Roman Reigns thing. I really enjoy this segment with Sami Zayn, who's like, dude, this is all because of you. Mm-hmm. Like, why are we pretending that Roman is the one who, you're the one who started this? And to me, that was like one of the, even though we all know story, but it's kind of like, yeah, you freaking dick, like, hello, but then all of a sudden Jey Uso gets attacked backstage. Who did that? You had the Street Profits attacked on SmackDown, on NXT. Forgetting his name. I don't know who he was, but I saw that he got attacked. He was one that bumped into or pushed the Rock's daughter, and then Shawn Michaels threw him against the door. He got attacked. So people are like, oh, did the bloodline go to NXT? Mm-hmm. No one knows that. But first off, just very quick, Bianca Belair versus Piper Niven. I haven't seen that match. I did see the finish, which was very impressive. Very cool. I've heard it was a great match. I'll have to tell you, Piper is legit. What she can do is awesome. Cody Rhodes versus Chad Gable, the way that finished up. Bloodline. Awesome. First off, Bloodline, Bronson Reed is out indefinitely with that match in the War Games. That sucks. And what's it?
Jimmy Uso broke his toe.
And then Tonga Loa
Oh yeah, he's gonna be out for a
He
while.
tore his pec, I think. He tore
no
whatever
his
here.
bicep. His
His bicep. So he's out.
Mm-hmm.
So that War Games match literally depleted that's that story, but it will continue, I'm sure. But again, very intrigued by the transfer window. Kevin Owens saying, which we talked about, he's going to come after Sami, or he'll get to Sami Zayn. Because if you're pissed at Cody for teaming with Roman, your best friend just did. So I love that segment with him and Michael Cole in the car. I don't know if you got to catch that.
I did.
That was funny. I like when he goes, "Hey, Michael." He goes, "You gonna apologize?" I'll say, the window goes up. I'm like, what a dick move. But I loved it. And awesome segments all around. Shinsuke Nakamura, LA Knight, Andrade, their thing in the ring, and then also you hear LA Knight go, what the hell? And all of a sudden Bloodline attacks them and they leave Nakamura alone. That was cool. I have to ask you though, I'll get your reaction to SmackDown or the segments that you were able to see. Have you seen the clip where Triple H is kind of breaking down how to shut Nakamura's entrance?
I heard about it.
That was so cool, dude. You got to take a look. Okay. I feel like watching that, and it's like, how can you not just sit there and just enjoy the show? Trust the process. You just talked about this, how a lot of us expect what's about to go down. It looks like the story's going this way, and then all of a sudden they turn it this way on you. And you go, holy crap, New Day, DIY, whatever. Watching Triple H, how first off, we saw Nakamura with Vince McMahon in charge. We haven't got to see a run with Nakamura with Triple H, really, truly.
Nope.
We're getting to now. And when you see, we haven't got to see a legitimate, good match yet. He just started coming in. He had his match the other night. We haven't seen a run yet. He just got the U.S. title. But just the character alone.
Yes.
Within a short amount, how intriguing does it make you go, damn, I'm very interested. And we've seen Nakamura. We're experienced with Nakamura. We've seen, but he seems fresh. He's new. So love what they're doing. And I love what Triple H, how committed he is with everybody. I mean, it's not just the top guys. Like you said, McMahon at the end, not even freaking recycling the same story over and over and over again, where Triple H is fresh stories and rebranding, rebuilding, and building up these other guys at the bottom. Shout out to that. I just have to say that. So just your thoughts on that. And then, of course, just quickly on your SmackDown segments that you were able to see.
Yeah, the whole thing, everything you just said was perfect. The attention to detail. First off, thank you, Crazy Dolphin. She is feeling better. It's a routine, by the way. It's routine surgery. She has it done every 6 months. She survived cancer twice. I guess they got to do something, take something out of her. But it's routine. But thank you, everyone in the chat. And everyone that's gonna be watching this later on, make sure you hit that like button, right? Sympathy likes. No, just kidding. I kid. I'm a heel.
I love it.
Look what I'm wearing, bro. Yes. I play the sympathy card, baby. That's what I do.
That is great.
But back to the small stuff. Triple H hits the small. Everything matters. If you watch a promo segment, in this we're not even talking about it anymore because it's not new anymore. Where we'll see Kathy Kelly interview Bobby, who so and so, right? The Miz. In the background, you'll just see like Bailey and Naomi talking and like arguing and like walk away from each other. When that first started, like, oh, did you see that? Now we're like, this is just a scene of a show, and it's all attention to detail. Something's going to lead to something, whether it be with Chad Gable going into SmackDown and why he's there to face Cody Rhodes and all that fun stuff, whether it be the Wyatt Six, whether it be the smallest story like Chelsea Green and Michin. Look what they're doing in this tournament. That's a possibility. The very finals could be Chelsea Green versus Michin for the U.S. title, and that feud's been going on since the dumpster match. So he's bringing that story back, possibly, because now that we see Naomi didn't advance. So now it's not a given it's going to be Bailey versus Naomi. It could be something totally different. We don't know. And it's just back in the day when Vince held a tournament, it was Kevin Owens, scrub. Scrub. Sami Zayn, scrub. Oh, I wonder who's going to win each side. Now we're like, oh, it's definitely Bailey and Naomi or Bianca and Jade. Guess what? It wasn't plan A. It wasn't plan B. So now we have a plan C that none of us even talked about. That's the attention to detail to the even littlest stories. Not to say that US title or Intercontinental title is not little, but you know what I mean, Bobby. Vince wouldn't have cared about that. Oh yeah, we're gonna have a tournament. Becky Lynch versus nobodies in Royal Rumbles, and she's gonna win. That's what usually happens. So now it's detail. It's awesome. Oh, and SmackDown, solid show, man. Like I like the incorporation of Chad Gable going over there, calling Cody out for who he is. Everyone's going over there and calling Cody who he is. I can't wait till Randy Orton does it. Everyone's doing it. Kevin Owens is calling him out for his faults because he is the main bad guy of that show. Chad Gable's coming over. He's not even on that show and he sees it, calling him out. Wait till Kevin Owens beats the holy hell out of Randy Orton and Randy blames Cody. That's what we're all waiting for. It seems like everyone's taking their shots. When you're high, like LeBron, Patrick Mahomes, when you're the top of your game, when you're the top dog, everyone's taking shots at you for reasons, right? We always make fun of Mahomes because every single time he throws a ball and there's no catch, he always calls for a flag, right? Right? Every single time, right?
Yeah.
Every time Cody does something, everyone on the bottom's like, look at this guy. Look at this guy. Always complaining, always crying. He's eventually going to turn around to heel, guys. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think everybody's looking forward to that. And, what's crazy is they go, oh, but he's such a face. He's such a face. Look how good it was. I mean, everybody's kind of waiting for it, and I think we'll enjoy it. Obviously, he's one of the top sellers in WWE, and the kids love him, and, but look how great it was to see Kofi and Xavier Woods take that turn and how fresh it was for their guys, for their characters, and what that could mean for the future. Anyway, awesome turnaround. Very cool. Not much to talk about in regards to, and maybe I'm wrong. I haven't seen anything worth talking about. I don't mean that in a bad way. I really don't.
For AEW?
Yeah. You could tell me.
Okay, I got you.
Ahead.
I got you. Hold on, I got you. So, they got a Continental Classic. They're doing. I actually like the concept of the Continental Classic, where it's round robin. Everyone wrestles somebody. Everyone wrestles everybody in their group. Point system, yada yada yada. But I don't care. I don't care because there's no stories. There's nothing going on. You turn on Dynamite, it's just wrestling match, wrestling match, wrestling match. End of show. So nothing to really report on over there. Same old, same old. Nothing to talk about. Let's move on.
There you go. I will say what I was going to bring up. I was trying to look for it because right when I mentioned it now, I thought I saw something earlier. And it was on Twitter. It was like a what do you call it? Screenshot of Dave Meltzer. Somebody asking him, do they think WCW would have survived a Tony Khan in WCW? And no. I mean, he said yes. Maybe it's hard to think because would he have been able to keep this guy? Would he have been able to do this and whatever? It's such a loaded question, and it's hard to answer. I mean, people crap on Eric Bischoff for bringing a bunch of people in and then letting the inmates run the asylum. Would have been the same thing. I don't know if it would have been any better because at least they had people kind of until they brought Vince Russo in running it. And
if Tony Khan was scared of his life during that video that we saw, he'd be terrified of the things he'd see at WCW.
Yeah, there's like if you didn't survive that little thing that had and I saw that video and that's when he said he was scared for his life. No, you would not. Yeah,
no, you wouldn't have made it. So no.
That's
my answer.
I think that's fair. I'm with you. I'm like, come on, man. No, just stop it. And let me tell you what I'm very intrigued with. And Eric Bischoff on NXT. Wait to see what happens with that. Seeing Eric Bischoff, first off, it's nostalgic, but also at the same time, he's such a good character. I'm just intrigued of what they would do with him.
Was that a one-off?
It didn't seem like it to me. From what I saw, he kept saying something about oh my goodness. He used a word. He kept saying the same word over and over again. Awesome. Something awesome. And people thought Miz was going to come out. And I think he was doing something with Ethan Page or something like that. But I'm intrigued to see what they do with that. If it was a one-off, because he appeared the week before on the Titantron, and then he actually showed up And so I'm wondering what they're going to do with that, because Shawn Michaels, what he's doing over there on NXT week in, week out, you got to give him his flowers. I mean, it's just great television and great wrestling in general. All right. Talking about Shawn Michaels, let's get into our main event, because this is something that popped up the other day, and I sent it to you. And, it's usually what we do. We see shit and we're like, oh, well, this seems like a great topic. So I saw that and I sent it to you. And I'm like, this is great. Era versus era. And it was, they had, and see if I could pull that up very quick. And it was so funny because I saw that, and then all of a sudden, somebody had posted that up as well, another one up. And I'm like, dude, we're actually talking about that. So the one I sent you was the golden era of WWF versus the Attitude Era of WWF. And so that card was, and it had, I don't know, like 8, 10 matches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
way too
9
many
matches. 9 matches. And so, the main event, well, let's start off with the first match. It's the Rock, it's tables, ladders, and chairs. Rockers, that's Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty versus the Hardy Boys. Then you had Jake the Snake Roberts versus Mankind, Demolition versus Brothers of Destruction, Ricky Steamboat versus Kurt Angle, 2 out of 3 falls. Three-man tag match, Hart Foundations versus D-Generation X, which was Triple H, Badass Billy Gunn, and Road Dogg. And you had that was Owen, Brett, and Jim Neidhart. Macho Man Randy Savage versus Jericho, Roddy Piper versus The Rock, Hogan versus Austin. So first off, love these type of things, right? Looking at that though, I was kind of like, you could have probably came up with something better.
Yep.
Hogan versus Austin makes a lot of sense, but like I told you before, I think Hollywood Hogan and Austin would have made a lot more sense. They seem like, because if Hogan obviously was a better wrestler than McMahon, right? But if Austin could have an interesting match that people enjoyed with McMahon, he could have would have had a better match with a Hollywood Hulk Hogan, scare running and doing this. So that's how I would. But I understand it's era versus era, so you probably could have gone in a direction. Roddy Piper versus The Rock was very interesting to me. It's kind of like, Savage versus Jericho seemed fun. I probably would have went like Jericho Steamboat, kind of probably went that way, but I think Angle Steamboat was interesting. Roberts versus Mankind, Brothers of Destruction versus Demolition. I was kind of like, we're just pairing people off at this point. I don't know how much thought process, and I'm fine with that. Okay, I would have loved to hear how that person put that together. Kudos to you though, to that person who did it. This was what gave us our idea for the show tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, shout out. Now, there was one that came, I saw, it was funny because we talked about it, we scheduled it, we started working on it, and also yesterday I saw Modern Era versus Attitude Era card pop in Twitter, which was like, holy crap. And of course I'm like, hey dude, we're talking about this. And they're like, oh, really? But they had let me just throw this out to you. So they had the same, I think, let me see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So Kane versus Braun Strowman, and this is Attitude Era Kane. Okay,
this is their list.
This is their thing. Yeah. Triple H versus Drew McIntyre.
Okay.
Hardy Boys versus the Usos.
Okay.
Kurt Angle versus Chad Gable. Shawn Michaels versus Seth Rollins. Steve Austin versus Kevin Owens, and The Rock versus Roman Reigns.
Okay.
So this card makes more sense. Because obviously, Steve Austin versus Kevin Owens, that happened. But, if that would have been Attitude Era, Shawn Michaels versus Seth Rollins, that is a dream match for a lot of people. I contemplated that, spoiler alert. I went another direction. I think it would have been probably a better one because Kurt Angle versus Chad Gable, another very easy one to kind of go, but, is it too similar in styles? That was kind of where I was kind of going with. I'm like, is that one too similar? I did have Usos versus Hardy Boys. I think they were in my promotional or the thumbnail. But like you, I'm like, And plus I thought of a better way to include the Usos, which we'll discuss. But Rock and Roman. So Rock and Roman main eventing there makes a lot of sense. But again, I think and it's not a spoiler, but I think Roman versus Austin would be better than Rock and Roman. And I'll tell you why. If you're talking about tribal chief Roman Reigns versus Attitude Era Steve Austin, I could see him say, puts his finger up, acknowledge me. And Austin says, acknowledge this, stunner.
Yep.
It would have been perfect. I think that's a lot better than Rock versus Roman, So, yeah, anyway, I thought I'd throw those in there. I was going to send you this one here, but I forgot to send that one. I know you had the other one. But, yeah, man, any of your thoughts on any of those matches?
Listen, very quick? I'm not going to criticize this person because he's not there to defend himself, which is fine.
I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying.
No, I know you're not. And trust me, I'm not liking his card at all. Like, I would watch his card, but I obviously had the same task, and I had 0 of those matches on my list. My list had a very special criteria. I always hold my list to a high standard, as in I don't want to be a basic pumpkin spice B. Roman versus Rock. Yeah, of course, everyone's going to put that. Austin versus, of course. So I started thinking of ways. How would they get there? How would it make sense? Why would these two fight? Not just because, one is an American guy like Kurt Angle, the other guy wears American tights, they both do German suplexes, put them together. Sure, I would like to see it, but I want to know why is one a better American? Like, what's their story there? So I have a story with every single one of these, every single one of them, and we haven't. I don't think we've seen any of these matches. We've already seen Stone Cold. I know you said it's not Attitude Era, but we've already seen Austin and Kevin Owens. We're gonna see The Rock versus Roman. So to me, it's not special. Something that could never happen ever. That's what I put on my list. Something that could never happen and never will happen.
Yeah. So I'll just say that's what was hard for me. While we were doing this, while I was doing it, was thinking of, okay, matches we might never see. Now, the credit, Steve Austin could pop up anytime, any day, and wrestle The Rock one more time, or maybe go against Randy Orton, or whatever. It could go down, right? I mean, but is it the same Austin? No. So they say Rock versus Cody. We all figure that's going to go down eventually. But will it be the same Attitude Era Rock versus Cody Rhodes, which I think Attitude Era Rock would destroy this era's Cody Rhodes, especially on the microphone, and that's kind of how I saw it. And for me too, not only like first off, what the buildup will be for that match, what they would be promoting this match. Because like, obviously you could go, okay, CM Punk versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. You could do that. And everybody would really want to see it. That's a dream match for everybody. Then at the same time, I'm thinking, all right, but how would that be in the ring? The only cool thing I think everybody would be more interested is the build-up, the mic skills between the both of them. I don't know if that would be something I'm going to be really, I think that's, you got to go another route with that to make it more interesting or have more meaning to it. Rock versus CM Punk, Attitude Era Rock on the microphone with a CM Punk pipe bomb, or, even now, whatever. That's going to be a lot of fun. And it could be a better match than it was when it actually did happen. Right? I know, but see, that's the thing. We've seen it, but I can understand someone putting that there because it's like, oh, wait, but this is Attitude Era Rock. So I had to kind of because like you, I'm like, but we saw that. You know what I mean? But I'm like, wait a second. No, wait, but it's two different eras. There's the Modern Era Rock. Now we know him as the final boss. And then you have the People's Champ, or the Attitude Era Rock, who is cocky with the sideburns and shit like that. So very interesting. So let's do this. If you're cool, are you cool going first?
Yeah, the whole card?
Yeah. Are you cool doing that? Yeah. All right. So we're going to go ahead and drop this up. And let me just make sure, first of all, Crazy Dolphin in the comments, always good to see you, brother. Daniel, everyone tuning in wherever you're watching on Twitter or Twitch, YouTube, we appreciate you watching right now. If you're anywhere other than YouTube, hop on over to YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button, and give us your fantasy cards. Crazy Dolphin, man, put your card in there. We're going to throw up Josh's first, so you have kind of an idea of where we're going, and then we'll throw mine on there, and then we'll go back and forth, just discussing each match. So
I like how you said mine's like the idea. You're like, here's an idea of what we're trying to attempt to do, but here's how it's done. Like with my list. My list is like the real one.
Let's go with the idea of it, see how you can have fun with it. and then we'll go with how it should have been done. Now, so here we go. So first off, I got this text earlier today, and I got right to work with putting this together for Josh. And my kid was like, "Ooh," So, and he was watching me as I was putting my card together, and I watched some matches, kind of see, because I was like, "Man, does this match really make sense?" So I watched some past matches of Attitude Era, and I'm like, "Yeah, I could see this working with my card, Josh." So anyway, it was hard, but it was fun. So let's go with yours first, man. You'll start with the first one on the bottom, and you make your way up if that works for you.
Oh, we'll go from there. Sure. So, boom. Here's the matchups. This is we have a 6-match maximum. I mean, I knew Bobby was gonna. He's a big WWE guy. He loves smashing 15 matches on a card. He wanted to put every single person on this list. I said, "Nah, dog. We got to limit this thing." So as you see, we have people that are gonna be missing out. I stuck to a traditional all singles list. This is a traditional card for a traditional wrestling fan. There's one garbage match, and we'll get to that soon. So we'll get to that right now. Kevin Owens versus Mankind in a boiler room match. I think they'd be amazing on the mic. Kevin Owens going off on Mankind cutting backstage promos about how, oh man, your kids aren't going to want to watch this. Kevin Owens is the babyface here. They have a match in the boiler room. I think everybody would love the promo skills between Kevin Owens and Mankind and their storytelling. I think they can just push it to the limits, especially in such an awesome hardcore match. Kevin Owens could do it all. Do I need to give out the winners?
I haven't even thought about that. If you want, that's an intriguing thing. If you want to do that, I guess you're more than welcome.
It's gonna be hard for me. I'll leave it at everyone's. They can all make their own winners.
How about we do that at the after? We go over both of them. We could go run through our cards and pick the winners.
All right, next matchup. This is actually going to open the show. Chris Jericho, the Ayatollah of Rock and Roll, Attitude Era. Chris Jericho was unbelievable against Seth Rollins. This is a matchup. They've been in the company together. I had to look it up on Cage Match. I had to Google it. They never had a wrestling match. They've never wrestled. They've been interacting. They've been in the ring together, but never had an actual even tag match. Nothing. So Chris Jericho versus Seth Rollins in that era, with Chris Jericho's athletic ability back then and Seth Rollins' big ego, big, charisma person, I think this would be an epic matchup. I'm curious to see if you even have Jericho on your list. I doubt you do. So I had to get him on mine. He's the GOAT, the first ever undisputed champion. You would call that the undercard. Some people would. I think Jericho and Seth Rollins would be probably the best match on this card. Then we're going to go into the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, Mr. Druggy himself versus the best in the world, Mr. Straight Edge. This is writes itself. Shawn's a mess. Shawn's a jerk. Shawn's a DICK. Shawn's not an unpleasant person. CM Punk's the voice of reason. They don't like each other. It just matches up. The things that CM Punk could say on the mic to Shawn Michaels about his addiction, about how he's a jerk to people in the back room. Hey, funny how I used to be the jerk, but now it's you, right? Shawn Michaels could not take things seriously, do all that fun stuff. And then when they get in the ring, what a match that's going to be. I'm sorry. That's perfect. Then we have our technical match of the night, Bret the Hitman Hart versus Gunther. Writes itself. I'm actually surprised. I haven't seen your list yet. I'm willing to bet this crossed your mind. I'm willing to bet because this is an instant classic. It's perfect. I don't need to say anything else about this match.
I'll say full disclosure. I had that. When I saw you with it, I updated mine. So
okay. It's the obvious. Yeah, it's the most obvious one I could think of.
I think I came up with a one that works, that replaced that one. So go ahead.
Then we got Logan Paul versus The Rock, the People's Champ. This is just superstar versus superstar, Hollywood versus Hollywood. Not Hollywood, but you guys know what I mean. Very big following in Logan Paul, the People's Champ, The Rock. Nobody was bigger in the 90s in wrestling, I don't feel like, when he was the most electrifying man in the world. Yes, I think this is a great matchup. I don't think Logan Paul gets his credit for his big marquee matchups, but he shows up. He makes things interesting. This would be one of the most much talked about matches of all time if this could actually happen and go down. And then the main event. There's no Cody Rhodes. There's no Roman Reigns. There's no Undertaker on my card. But we have Stone Cold Steve Austin. And the MVP of wrestling this year, Wrestler of the Year, Drew McIntyre. For everything that he's done, he is my shocking. We're in December. We're getting the award shows. I guess I just spoiled it. But he's the Wrestler of the Year. by far, in a way, he carried that CM Punk promo halfway by himself, cutting promos to nobody while CM Punk was injured. Him and Austin, the work they could do, the way Austin can go in there and make Drew McIntyre's life a living hell, while Drew McIntyre is a psychopath and could beat Steve Austin to a bloody pulp. And then Steve, I can see it now. Drew McIntyre beating him up. He's all bloodied up, and Stone Cold's on the turnbuckle, getting handcuffed, beat up. Give him the finger with blood just going all down his face. Claymore kick to the face. Austin doesn't go down. Like, this could be a true blood feud. I am all in on this match. That, to me, that screamed main. Yes, Austin versus Roman seems awesome, right? Two best of all time. Austin versus Cody, sure, why not? But let's get the best heel in the business versus the ultimate best babyface in the business of all time. That's your matchup. That's your money right there. So, Bobby, I speak no longer. Rate mine. Can you rate it for me real quick? Because I think this is the best card of all time. I think if you posted this on Blue Sky and Twitter, I'd become famous. Triple H would call me.
Okay, so the first 4 matches make a lot of sense. Again, Kevin Owens, Mankind, that caught me. I was like, whoa. I'm like, you know what? Kevin Owens can hold his own against Mankind. I think that would be very interesting. And then Kevin Owens kind of like, especially what he is right now with a Mankind, have a nice day. I'm very intrigued by that. And I think that could bring the best out of a Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens would have killed it in the Attitude Era. Jericho versus Rollins, that's one of those ones where it's like, I don't want to say it's easy. I don't mean it in a bad way, but it's like, oh, those two would have put up a 5-star match. That would, like you said, if you start off the show with that match, it would be hard to top that one. But then you got Bret Hart versus Gunther. And again, I'm not going to lie. I had that. I wrote it down. I was like, these two in a match, like, have, the size of Gunther and how he wrestles against the Hitman, excellence of execution against the ring general. I saw you put it up and I'm like, okay, I have to pull an audible. And I don't mean that bad. I could have done it, but I was like, I'm going to do an audible because I had someone in mind. And so love that match. I think, Chris Jericho and Seth Rollins, that match would be a run for its money. Heartbreak Kid versus Shawn Michaels versus CM Punk. The build-up, again, would have been epic. Could CM Punk put up a great match against Shawn Michaels? Yeah. I mean, he's done it before with other guys. I mean, him and John Cena put on a freaking, stellar match in their day. So, yeah, and Shawn Michaels could make anybody look 10 times better. So, that match was cool. The final 2 really threw me for a loop, where I was like, where the heck is he going with these? That's where I'm kind of like, damn. I was like, Logan Paul in the spot with The Rock. First off, Logan Paul in the ring is no joke. I mean, he's fun. And as a character too, I mean, he's still developing. I think in the ring, they could put up a fun match. I think Logan Paul and The Rock could handle a Logan Paul in the ring, but I think Logan Paul could kind of adjust to The Rock where it kind of makes sense. But that one, I was kind of like, that's interesting for me because you could go any dream match in this scenario. Again, I understand we're like, dude, but ones we won't ever see or ones that we haven't seen. But like, of course, Cody versus The Rock, Roman versus The Rock.
We're gonna see it.
I know, but we haven't seen it yet. And this is Attitude Era Rock. So but that makes sense. Or I mean, really, I was surprised with the Logan Paul pick.
Okay.
But I could see it working out in the ring more than the actual hype between it. And then Austin versus McIntyre. Austin was amazing. And Drew McIntyre's a great wrestler. And they could put up a match. But I would be very intrigued to see the chemistry of that match. Because you got a brawler and a physical, he hurts you when he hits you. Where Austin's more technical. Even though Austin's a fighter, right? That's where I'm kind of like, how would they match up in the ring? Because I could see them on the mic. I could see Austin having a field day with Drew McIntyre and McIntyre just getting frustrated and kind of like what he did with CM Punk. But it's the ring where I'm kind of like, So I was actually surprised, but I was like, at the same time, I was kind of like, damn, this really threw me for a loop. This is interesting. So, I mean,
6
You do
a.m. I'm
that.
texting you a list, and you're like, "What the heck is this guy talking at 6 a.m.?"
I'm
Give me.
like, got up for basketball. I'm getting my basketball stuff ready. I was like, I'm like, the f is this?
You know,
No.
I heard Stevie Richards because I've been watching his show lately because I think he does a good job. And it's interesting to hear his perspective on wrestlers. But either way, um, he said dream matches aren't great, just as dream matches. Dream storylines make dream matches. And Drew McIntyre and like, let's be honest. Let's go back and look Drew McIntyre and CM Punk, all 3 matches. They weren't Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher even. They weren't. Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay in the match. I'd watch that 10 out of 10 more times. I would watch that match over and over and over again over the whole CM Punk feud in the ring. But I would not take the story. If you say, "Hey Josh, Kyle Fletcher versus Ospreay storyline, like the whole feud." No, I'm taking that feud because CM Punk and Drew told a fucking awesome story. I don't really care what they did in the ring. I didn't care. It didn't matter to me. I just wanted to know what would happen after their match or what's going to happen leading up to their match. Didn't care about the match. The match was just cherry on top. Whereas, you know what I mean? Like when I made this card, I was thinking about stories. Everything to me made like even The Rock and Logan Paul. I was struggling. So what I did, Bobby, I don't know how you made your list. I put every legend I'd want to see. Shawn Michaels, Rock. That's what I did. And then I tried to find their opponent for today's world. And I had Cody on my list at one point. He doesn't make sense. Roman he doesn't make sense. I wanted it to be like, what truly makes sense? Then I'm thinking, okay, every big matchup, every WrestleMania has like their Hollywood match, their MTV match. And that's why I put this on that card. This is the social media match. This is the big get the casual people in here match. That's what I was looking at. That's why I did that one specifically.
That makes sense. See, okay, so think it as a booker, you're like not Hollywood match. Which one you could be counted as a dream match, so but also though, I mean what they could put together. And I get your part with the McIntyre and Austin. I will say though, I would watch CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre over any Will Ospreay match any time of the week. I mean,
yeah, you're weirdos.
I've tried. That's not wrestling, but whatever. Anyway, that's why one's match of the year and the other one's just like, oh, same stuff, different day.
One's an 8-star match, one's only a 5. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know to tell you.
Tombstone on the steps. Let me get back up. Okay, we're good.
You know? Hey, the steps aren't made of steel, bro. That's aluminum. That's the AEW ain't fake, brother. They don't go, oh, steel steps. No, bro. This is a tin pan. Come on.
Crazy Dolphin likes what you did. There you go.
Thanks, Crazy Dolphin.
The Battle of Egos, Rock versus Logan. All right.
That's my dog.
How'd
your son? I bet your son was like, Josh's match is like awesome, Dad. Nobody wants to see Kane and Undertaker versus whatever the Acolytes or not. You can't do that. You can't
do that. That's the same era. The Brothers of Destruction versus
I'm just trying to think of those 2 big guys from Karrion Kross's group.
Oh, no, some random ass. No, I didn't do that. The past versus the present. So Modern Era versus Attitude Era. So it is hard. Ed, yes. We are a tag team. I consider us a tag team.
Yeah.
We're a team. We work together to build this up, and it's been a great run. I'm really enjoying it. But at the same time, we are competing. We also compete week in and week out. And so while I'm doing this card, I'm going, God dang, dude. I'm like, I'm gonna have to hear Josh talk shit about this, and I'm gonna have to, and it's just like, So it is hard. But I looked at your card and I started noticing. I'm like, damn, because it's true. It was hard for me too. Full disclosure, I did not do a tag match. It's hard to pick a relevant tag team right now in modern day WWE. I mean, I'm not going to pick DIY or the New Day or I did for a while think Usos versus Hardys. I was like, okay, but
what's the story? What's the story?
What are you trying to do? What greatest teams of all time? Who ends up the greatest? That's where I was. It's like, and it is hard because it's only 6 matches. So I'm like, damn, who am I going to leave off and who am I going to keep on? And so there is no tag match. There is a team match on there because I'm like, how can I include these guys without having to take over a card spot. And then I also noticed there aren't any women on your match card. And I said, interesting. I was like, see, that's the thing, though. There are dream matches there. I almost went, just first off with you, but also because I was like, was Charlotte versus Trish, the top star of that era and the top star of our era in women's wrestling. But we've seen that. And so I thought about that. I'm like, yeah, but Trish of that era would not be able to hold up the era of Charlotte now. Now, Trish of this era did, and they had a phenomenal match. And shout out to Trish. She's a legend, right? I mean, but I was like, there's another women's match that would be right there. And I had to watch some of those matches, and I'm like, oh, hell yeah. They could have put something together. So just full disclosure. So here I am, guys. I'm an equal opportunist. Okay. I give opportunities to everybody. I'm not straight up, I give opportunities. Just think about that. So for the ladies watching, just remember, I'm having a woman's match on my card. Josh did not.
No, I didn't. And then guess what? And I'm no regrets.
No regrets.
My card.
No regrets.
Listen, just listen. Who made the rule that we had to have a women's match? And this is not just on our card. AEW, WWE, Game Changer Wrestling, TNA, Impact.
But no, GCW. I get that. I get that. You could have easily left it off.
We don't need it.
But you don't need it. But there is.
With there's 6 matches, when there's 6 matches, Bobby, I'm trying to sell tickets. I ain't trying to.
Let me show you how it's done.
Listen, I'm not trying to give my fans a bathroom break. All right,
it's not a bathroom break.
They gotta sit down in the seats the
whole time. Dude. Oh gosh. All right. First off, shout out to everybody watching right now. Again, watching No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast with Bobby and Josh on FTSN here every Saturday night, most of the time. On Saturday nights, depending on if there's a PLE or a Saturday night main event, or
we gotta do a pre-show for that.
Yes. Okay, I'm cool with that. What time is the show? I'm not
missing it. I don't know, but I don't want to miss it.
Okay. All right.
I'm pretty sure it's like at 8:00. So if we come on like at 6:30 and do an hour before,
I'm down with that. I'm down with that. Cool. All right. So let's throw it up without further ado. Okay. And then I'll go one by one. Here's the thing. You guys don't get to see Josh's face when I throw this up. I still do. So I have to see all the reactions and shit. If you hear me start laughing or stopping, it's because I see him rolling his eyes.
I'm just going to be stone cold face.
All right, let's go. All right. Booyah! Right here. All right. Going to start off the start of the night. The first card. Again, Bret Hart versus Gunther makes a lot of sense. And I had it. And it was one of the top ones on the card. Maybe in the third spot. When I saw Josh's, I was like, okay, I have to audible. So what's the next best thing? Kurt Angle versus Gunther. Kurt Angle versus Gunther. And as Josh said at the beginning, Jericho and Seth Rollins, this could be a banger. And, you go, man, but Chad Gable and Kurt Angle, I thought about that. But at the same time, I don't want twins. I don't want to. Yeah, it would have been fun to see him kind of do the same moves, but it's like, think about what Gunther could do with Kurt Angle. What Kurt Angle could do with Gunther, with the the suplexes and the submissions and the reversals. And I mean, this is a legit 5-star capable match right here to start. And first off, I'm a huge fan of Kurt Angle, and he won't ever get the credit he really deserves, especially for modern day fans who probably never really got to see him, because his career was not long. It wasn't long in WWE. He had a great career in TNA. He had a great career in WWE until, of course, he left, and then he came back and he was a shell of himself. But I'm talking Attitude Era Kurt. You could even put Kurt Angle, but this is Attitude Era Kurt with the hair. He still had hair versus Gunther, and you're going to have a 5-star quality match. Yep. I mean, I would have loved to see these two go at it. I mean, if you want a example of what it could have been, watch Gunther versus Chad Gable. And just times 10. No disrespect to Chad Gable. I love Chad Gable. But watch that match. And you remember how great those matches were? Imagine that being Kurt Angle. Now, my second match. Thought long and hard. Josh, like you said, if it was me, I would have said, man, let's do 8 matches. And, I would have been able to fit shit in. But you said, don't, dude, we're doing 6. I didn't go 15. douche. But I was like 6. I was like, oh, I was like,
next rule: limit 4 people per match.
No, can't do. Well, this is
Bobby's like, we're having 6 battle royals.
They're all included. No, I started going, man, factions.
Yep.
You know, Attitude Era. In the WWF, because of course the top faction for me in the Attitude Era, and that's including everybody. This was WWF versus WWE, was NWO. But WWF at this moment in time, it was D-Generation X, Triple H, X-Pac, Road Dogg, and Badass Billy Gunn versus the OG Bloodline. I wanted to clarify that. This is Roman, Jay, Jimmy, Sammy in a War Games match. So you get Triple H, Attitude Era Triple H with D-Generation X, with modern day Roman, Jimmy, Jay, and a lead up of this match would be, and lead up to any of these matches really, but the lead up to this match would be so fun because acknowledge me, suck it, acknowledge this. Like that would have been so fun to see the Degenerates taking on the Bloodline. And imagine Sami Zayn on the mic with these guys. And then the match itself would have been a lot of fun. Moving on to the third match on the card. This is a dream match. China, the ninth wonder of the world, versus Rhea Ripley. This is a dream match. And I thought, man, you know, obviously the Attitude Era of women's wrestling, it does not touch. You're a douche. It does not touch.
You said I fell asleep. I'm sorry.
Does not touch this era of women's wrestling. But I went back and watched China's matches. And she held her own against Triple H, Eddie Guerrero, Jericho. I mean, even the women's wrestling, I mean, was she could be able to do the strength of her, the moves she did, she would have been, her and Rhea Ripley could have put a match. Rhea Ripley obviously is levels above her in terms of wrestling. But first off, the styles, the looks, obviously, you know, these two mirror each other. This would have been for me, would have been a fun way to go. And that's why it was easier for me. Like I told you, Charlotte versus Trish was an idea. And I was like, again, the same as you, we saw it, but Trish Stratus of the Attitude Era does not touch Trish Stratus of the modern day era. I mean, this is not Trish Stratus with the piece who faced lead on the main event. This is Attitude Era Trish, who was following around Vince McMahon, and you know, it make sense. Charlotte would have tossed her, and nobody would have cared for that. Mm-hmm. You know, but they would have cared for Rhea Ripley versus China, the Attitude Era, because she was just ridiculous at that point, and she was fun, and she was levels above any other women on that in that ring at that point. So easy match for me to say. Like you know, again, it's hard to not include like you said. There's some guy wrestlers like, man, how do I leave this guy off? But I was like, you know what, this gets easy right here. It's easy to put these girls in front of those guys at that point. A match that we will end up seeing more than likely. The final boss, Rock, taking on Cody Rhodes. We eventually will probably see that match. But we'll never see People's Champ, Attitude Era Rock taking on Cody Rhodes. We will never see Rock in his prime on the mic against Cody Rhodes. Making fun of the crying. Making fun of the buildup of this match would be so much fun. And the match itself, first off, the names alone on a theater, you know, an arena with the lights, that's how to sell you tickets. But the match itself should be right up there. So this was an easy one to put. This was a struggle, to be truthful with you, because obviously we know we might eventually see it. But I'm thinking Attitude Era Rock versus Cody. And I'm like, this is fun. I could see this. Now you move on, and you know, you had Shawn Michaels versus CM Punk. A lot of people would love to see Shawn Michaels versus Seth Rollins. But dude, we're missing. Why would we skip on Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, Attitude Era in his prime, against the phenomenal one, AJ Styles, who is on the modern era, who's just injured right now. But these two right here, how many? AJ Styles, first off, has been begging for this match.
Yes.
And we will not get to see it. But my goodness, if I had the opportunity to make it happen, it's right now, and I'm doing it. And imagine what these two would do. What these two could do in the ring, and then the main event that has to follow. would be tough to follow up, but I think it will. And the main event of the evening is the two pillars of WWE. Say there's 4, but those 2 aren't available. One's in War Games, and the other one is in WCW. John Cena, WWE calls him the GOAT, the doctor of thugonomics. All right, he's about to have his final run. Modern day John Cena versus the Attitude Era Texas Rattlesnake Stone Cold Steve Austin. First off, again, on the board sign, when you're going into the arena, Josh, you're driving by. Let's say it's the old days, and you see on the arena, it says main event, John Cena versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. You're pulling over and buying a ticket. Or you get home and you're going to pay that $40 to watch that pay-per-view. This sells tickets. Now, you go, well, he does it. First off, these two in the ring would be just fine. They would put up a fun match. It would be an interesting match. You got the You Can't See Me. You got the Bird. It would be electric in there. No hate against your card, but you proclaimed it. So I'm going to do the same. This card screams blockbuster. This card screams WrestleMania. This card screams Starrcade. This is an epic card. I am proud of this card because I thought long and hard. You know I do. You do the same. Yep. We got to think hard. We got to try to figure shit. But to me, when I'm thinking, I'm like, man, this was hard. I'm like, oh, do I really want to see? I'm actually very proud of it. I mean, Gunther versus Angle, Ripley versus China, Bloodline versus DX, Rock Cody, Shawn Michaels, AJ Styles, Austin, Cena. Woo! Come on, dude. Epic card. You got to admit that was a great card.
It was a good card. It was a
great card.
Solid B+. Solid B+. No, it was I'm not. Listen. We love each other on the show. We tell the truth. I don't lie to my friends. I tell them the truth. And solid B+. Listen, how are we going to get what? Walk me through how, because I'm not dogging your show, because trust me, yes, I'd want to go to that show. Like there's no bad matches on either of our cards. Let's be honest. But why would I want to see John Cena versus Stone Cold? Why? I want to know why.
The two greatest of all time, the ones who led both eras. That's the GOATs.
That's their story.
Yeah, that's
best. I'm the best. We're both baby faces. What's the story?
It's a dream match. That's the story. That's it.
Then go watch AEW, brother.
These two actually can put up a match that's interesting. AEW is a bunch of woohoo. Oh, I'm back up. Woohoo! Just like that. Just like that.
I would be down to watch this match, but I don't think I would like the television going into the match. That's all. Because Stone Cold's not going to do anything maniacal to John Cena, and John Cena's Mr. Good match, sir. Good luck to you, sir. It's
dream match.
Yeah,
it's a legitimate dream match. That if we're saying modern era versus attitude era, it's not like John Cena's now retired and you can't use him because he's not. No, he's modern era John Cena. And even if Austin came out of retirement, he's semi-retired, whatever you want to call himself, and he says, I'm back and I want to face John Cena because I'm coming back for one more match at WrestleMania 41. Everybody's going to want to watch it. And everybody's going to tune in because Cena's going to come out on Raw and Netflix. He's going to, this is my final run, and talk about it on there. You don't need something special. You don't need any of that build because first off, the rest of the card carries the build. This is a dream match. That's all you need.
Crazy Dolphin's one of the people that watched Collision, and I am bowing down to you, sir. And I'm not. Listen, I don't know how you do it, but let me know how things go over there. I heard Daniel Garcia tied Okada in the Continental Classic, and honestly, I'm not dogging that. I would love to see that match. If they would have freaking put that match on Dynamite, I'd be freaking watching it. But no, they put it on Collision where no one watches. It pisses me off, Bob, because Daniel Garcia and Okada, that's a match I'd want to see. but they put it on Collision.
Do you not have that channel? Or you just don't watch Collision?
I have an obligation at 8:00 every Saturday night.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
But I'll be honest with you, even if I wasn't doing this show on Saturday night, me and my son we'd be playing Sonic, we'd be playing PlayStation, we've been playing Sackman, Sackboy, Little Big Planet, just free games you get on the PlayStation Network.
Yeah.
Because that's the wonderful thing about the kids don't know. You had to go buy GoldenEye. And there was no online and free games and monthly games. Bro, if I was a kid, my parents would never have to buy me a video game. Ever. Because I have endless.
So what's your endless library? Because my son, I have Xbox in my room. That's what I use. And I have Game Pass. So I have all these games that I get all the time. My son, he wanted a PlayStation 5. So it's the first PlayStation I've bought in years. And so he has Spider-Man. But do you have the membership? Do you pay the monthly membership?
You
do.
So
okay.
Worth it. So worth it.
I assume because it's like Game Pass, right? You got, and then you have all these games.
I heard Game Pass was better. I heard Game Pass was better, but like for example, all the 2K games go on eventually. I don't buy WWE 2K anymore because I just got it for free about 2 months ago. I'll just play it later. I'll wait. Like that's fine.
Okay.
But like all the 2K games, all of them.
What's the one that you buy? What's the one that you have? If you don't mind telling me, that way I know. Like the membership, because there's 3 tiers.
The top.
The
top of the line.
Whatever. Is that what that is?
I do it. Well, you do it once a year. But during Black Friday, usually they're on sale for half off.
Yeah.
Just saying. So it's worth it to me because you get all the games. There's a whole catalog. We just download like Monopoly, like just stupid games like that, like Monopoly. But they also have good games like Tiger Woods PGA Tour. Like
I know, I saw them, and it's because he's always like, Dad, can you, because he wants to play Madden or whatever, and so he comes in my room, but then he's like, can I download Madden? And I'm not gonna pay $70 again or $50. So I was like, let me see, and and so
they don't have games like that.
They don't. I saw that. I noticed that.
But they have a thing where you can buy a monthly subscription to EA Play. And it's $5 a month, and they have all the old EA games on there. So when Madden goes old, or a certain time, then you can play it for free.
I'm gonna check out EA Play because I think I had EA, or I have EA Play on this one too. So I might have some old Maddens on there, maybe. Hopefully,
yeah. But I will say it's 1,000% worth it to buy them, especially if you're going to it's just better. You get discounts. The games on there, like The Last of Us, Part 1 remastered. I don't know if you ever played games like that. That was free. I've been playing the hell out of that.
I want to play God of War. I've never played God of War. I've always wanted to play that. I've never played God of War.
Dude, I know this is a wrestling show and Crazy Dolphins. Okay, so my brother's like, God of War is the best game of all time. Like, you have to play it. And I'm like, bro, Harry Potter, like that game was so much fun. It's not going to be anything like that. The Hogwarts game. Legacy.
I've been wanting to play that. Haven't played that yet.
It's one of the best games I ever played.
Okay.
Red Dead Redemption 2 still is my favorite game of all time. That's my favorite game of all time.
You can play that forever.
So my brother's like, this game is on par with those. God of War, like I don't know which version you're looking at, but I played like the most recent one. Dude, I was addicted. I could not stop playing it until I beat it. It's one of the most fun games, and I've never played any God of War games ever.
Yeah, I've never played it, but I've always wanted to play that game. And now my son has PlayStation, so I was like, I'm eventually going to buy that game, But I think it's available if you get the membership. I think it is.
Well, the DLC, they put out DLC, and it was free DLC. So that's what I think what you're talking about. But it might be because I own the game now, so it doesn't matter. Okay. So if you own a game and it's in your library, you go to your PlayStation thing, it'll say already purchased, so you can't tell if it's free or not.
Okay. I thought I saw it in the catalog when I was looking. So anyway, I know
they do a lot of Ubisoft games, a lot of Ubisoft games, and a lot of 2K games.
Yeah, I definitely want to try that game out. And I haven't tried Hogwarts. I do want to try that. I tried to convince. I was like, dude, you want to try be Harry Potter? And he's like, is it worth it?
It's so
open world,
but it's repetitive. As in the tasks you do, like there's tasks you have to do in each little city, kind of like Assassin's Creed. If you ever played that,
yes, yeah,
it's the same thing. Like you have to clear this, you have to go do this, you have to do in every single place you go to. It's like find 3 rocks and place them back where they're supposed to go. And there's like 50 of them throughout the whole map. And you're supposed to go do that to get, rewards, unlock stuff. It's just very repetitive, but you don't have to do it for the main quest. But I will say this, video game talk on Real Talk.
Yeah, no, yeah, we're in it. We're winning.
But the worst part about Harry Potter, Hogwarts Legacy is no matter what you do, you can kill everybody. You can use all. I didn't use all the death spells at first, but I realized it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect you as a character. It doesn't turn you bad. It doesn't turn you good. That's so lame. How Red Dead Redemption was with that bar where I stay green. So I played that game twice. I played it where I was a good boy cowboy and a very, very bad cowboy. And they had two totally different endings, two different games, styles of play. With this one, you can just avacadabra. It does not matter. You're still a good guy. It sucks.
You see, that bothers me a little bit because I thought when I was like, man, it's going to be hard because it's so stupid. It's a game, but I still kind of like, do I really want to do that?
I play by the rules. Yeah. I play by the rules.
I'm that way. I'm kind of like, oh, it's just a game. I don't care.
When I play Grand Theft Auto, I drive in the lanes.
Yeah, I stop at the red light. I do, and then if I get bored, that's when I go and pop, and But I always try to, I follow the rule. But that's what I thought was interesting. Like, okay, what if I turn like the ultimate dark wizard? They said you could do it. You don't do it.
You can like be all dark and make your character look dark by putting on dark clothes. Like there's a lot of wardrobe, Bobby. It's a lot of maintenance. It's a lot of like, you got to make potions. You got to hatch eggs. You got to breed these animals. There's a lot of side things you have to do. It's a very busy game.
Breed
but it's
animals. Oh my.
Yeah, because of all the beasts that you capture. Yeah. It leads into that world, the magical world of the beasts. So you have to go capture the beasts and then breed them. And then you're constantly where they go in and train. Harry Potter trains everybody. That room. Yeah. You have one of those rooms. Okay. And that's where all your potions are and all the stuff that you go, those things that you come out of the pot and they scream. You can go grow those and you can use those in battle.
So is it set in the Harry Potter movie universe?
Before.
It's before. It's a prequel, but is it the same castle and
dude, it looks the way that it's the best looking game I've played.
Okay.
Because I love Harry Potter. Hogwarts is true to itself. The Dark Forest, Hogsmeade, like everything you could think of is freaking awesome.
We're off there, but I'm gonna have to ask you because you just said Harry Potter. So I was one of those who really got laid into the Harry Potter stuff late on. A lot of my friends at that time were into it, the books, the movies. It was maybe until Half-Blood Prince where I finally said, I'm going to watch the movie. And I got into it. And so I read the final book. And then that's when I watched all the movies. And so love the Harry Potter story. Really do. Very intrigued by the HBO series that's coming out. Have you seen the casting of the rumor casting for any of the characters yet? I have to ask you, because if you are, because I've seen them, I'm kind of like, there's people, I hate this. But I want to know if you see, because if you're a Harry Potter fan, I would love to know your thoughts on.
I didn't see anything. I've been so.
Are you interested in the series?
I'm interested, but I've been so out of the loop of anything, Bobby. That's not wrestling, sports, fantasy football.
Yeah,
I don't know much about entertainment. I don't know what's coming out. I only know Sonic 3 is coming out in 2 weeks because I'm taking my son.
Keeps telling me. Yeah, I know. He's telling me.
Right now, he's watching Sonic on Netflix, waiting on me to get back there to watch it with him.
Yeah, that's how. I had to buy Sonic 2, and then all of a sudden I saw it was free on another thing, and I got pissed, and I was like, but whatever. But anyway, there is a lot of interesting casting choices. I am intrigued. I know a lot of people. The movies are just fine. Stop it. Just stop. You could still enjoy the show. It's going to be a different take. And, I saw there's 2 actors up for Dumbledore. And the one that they just showed up yesterday, there was an older guy, but then they have actually a young guy. I don't know what movies you've seen or if you're going to know this guy. But hold
on, I'm going to stop you real quick. Crazy Dolphin, yes. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes. So yes, back to the Harry Potter.
So one guy's Mark Rylance, who's an older guy. He would be just fine. The other one, see, HBO confirms Harry Potter series will start shooting soon. Mark Strong, that's who it was. Mark Strong.
Okay.
He's done Dune Prophecy. He's done The Penguin. He was in The Kingsman. Anyway, I was very intrigued by that one. And I saw the character. They say they cast it as Snape. And which is hard to cast anybody.
You can't cast anyone but Alan Rickman. I don't know.
But, they're not going to bring him back from the grave.
But you're going to have to deal with Yeah, so full disclosure, all these shows, spinoffs, I'm fine with them. There are some shows I wish they would leave movies to. leave alone. There's no need to expand this universe. Harry Potter is a world where you can expand it because there's more to just Harry Potter. There's more than just him. Now, in a story like Ted Lasso, if I see
you don't need a spinoff. You don't need.
I will be furious because that ended perfectly.
Yeah, you don't need a spinoff. If you're going to do it, just do a continuation of the show. Bring them all back, but do not do a spinoff. I'm with you. That's the same thing as Star Wars. You know, Star Wars has so many stories you could do off of that.
Anyway,
but Harry Potter, I'm with you. Now, this one obviously is not a continuation or a spinoff. It is just a new adaptation to it. It's season 1. I think it's going to be Chamber of Secrets or whatever the hell it is, and then it goes on like that. The Snape actor, though, I did see someone say, what's it? The guy who played Kylo Ren should be Snape, but it wasn't him. The one who actually did it is. I mean, he has the face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. But actually, and you'll have to look him up. Is Papa Asuidu is the actor. I believe he is casted or is in talks to play Snape, and a lot of people are up in arms. But I'm like, dude, just sit
Listen,
back.
I watched the cartoon very recently, the cartoon version of the Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a phenomenal series, the cartoon version. I thought from episode 1 to the very end, it's probably the best cartoon series I've ever seen. And that's a kid's show from Nickelodeon, but I still thought it was phenomenal. I'm watching the live action one on Netflix right now. I don't like how the way they casted characters or the way they, Sokka in the cartoon version of the show, Sokka hates women, thinks they're weak, thinks they can't battle. In this version, since it's 2024, we can't really incorporate that into the new show because it's 2024. I'm okay with this stuff. My old Josh would be like, this isn't true. Listen, every art, every project, every show is the director. It's their vision of that universe. And we just have to live with it. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. Just like pro wrestling. Tony Khan's version of pro wrestling is the way he does it. If you don't like it, don't watch it. And guess what? Nobody watches it. I'm okay with it, Bobby. If they want to cast whoever they want to cast, guess what? Watch it or don't. Guess what? Here's some shocking revelations, people. It's going to be one of the biggest shows of all time.
It is.
Sorry, it's Harry Potter. It's baked in. I'm going to be watching. Like, it's just a fact.
I am. I first Michael Gambon at Dumbledore. And, oh my goodness, the actor before Dumbledore who played but I love Michael Gambon as Dumbledore. And it's hard to see anybody play him as Dumbledore, but it's like, I'm interested. I'm intrigued. Mm-hmm. Yes. When I saw the casting of Severus Snape, it wasn't because, he's white or black or whatever. It's going, he's not Alan Rickman. That's freaking Alan Rickman.
Wait, the guy that's playing Snape is going to be an African-American?
Yes.
Get over it.
That's my thing. I'm like, why are we? Look, I get it. It's not about because he's white or black. It's because he's not Alan Rickman. But guess what? No one is Alan Rickman. No one.
Thing, and this might be a heel statement. I might get kicked off the show, but I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it because I just said it downstairs when we were watching The Greatest Showman with my wife and my kids. If you're going to do a period piece and you're going to put a person of color in a very high stature spot in that period piece, that's bad casting. Get that PC casting out of here. And no way in the world in the 50s, 40s, 30s, 20s is that man going to be in charge of anyone because of that era sucked. I hate when they cast that. I hate when I'm watching a period piece and you see there's the black cowboy, then there's the Asian cowboy, then there's the fucking, whatever. Like, come on.
It's not realistic. Not realistic.
Yes, but this one is because it's a freaking fantasy world and anyone could be anyone. And you could be any color you want, just like Star Wars. You get freaking aliens doing fighter jets. And then they want to complain about Finn being a black stormtrooper.
Yeah. Come on, dude.
Get out of here, bro. It's Star Wars. It's a fantasy universe. But period pieces, I hate that. I don't know how you feel about that. I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
There's nothing. Yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with that. No, I'm with you. I don't believe in just make it realistic. That's it. It's realistic. Let's just be real to the beat. Now, like recently, if you're like to look through Gladiator, Denzel Washington is in there, and he, but actually back then they were darker. It's realistic, I mean, it's the other stuff that might not be, but it is what it is. But I'm with you. But for that, like Harry Potter, it's a take. It's guess what? Alan Rickman's not coming back. And yeah, you might get an actor that might look like him, may possibly sound like him, or but the drawings of Snape was fun. But it's like, who cares? This is a different perspective, and I'm intrigued by it. It might not be the greatest thing. He might not come out, or maybe he might, you might get invested in this Severus Snape, and you go, damn, this guy actually did a great version of it, based off which I'm hooked on Bigfoot, Diamond, and I believe in Bigfoot. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. We all believe
I'm down with that, brother. Hell yeah. I'm down with it too.
That's a whole topic. We'll do a conspiracy show.
I'm down with that. I'm all about it, dude. Let's Ghost, Bigfoot. Let's freaking roll, man. I'm down to talk about that. The skunk ape in Florida. Like, let's roll, man. What's that one? The bat in Chicago.
Oh my goodness, a giant. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. I'm forgetting his name right now, but hell yeah, the Batman. Whatever. It's not Batman, but it's whatever. All right, we're about at half an hour. Hey, when we're having fun, who cares, right? And people are still watching, so it's good. We're all right. We got people still tuning in. That's what matters. Thank you, Crazy Dolphin. But very quick, let's run this through very quick. Let's put us on the spot. All right. Name your winners. Who wins?
All right, this is easy, and I can't wait to show Justin Toner this Crazy Dolphin.
Yeah,
crazy. What match are you? If this was head to head, what match? Anyone 71 to you right now, head to head. What show are you watching? Josh's Carter
New Jersey Devil. That's right. That's who it is. Yes.
Okay, you're not gonna hurt no one's feelings. So we got Kevin Owens versus Mankind. I gotta let Mankind go over in a boiler room match. That's gonna happen. Jericho's gonna go over against Rollins. I think that Jericho's the bigger star. Gunther is going to beat Bret Hart. I don't know if Bret Hart's going to like that or not. He's a little pansy, a little crybaby, but just do the job, brother. I'm going to have Shawn Michaels go over CM Punk. It just seems right to me. Rock has to beat Logan Paul for credibility. He just has to. And then I think at the end of the day, I want Drew to win because it makes more sense to me. Drew's a bigger, stronger man. But everyone send home. I'm a big believer in sending people home happy. And Stone Cold Steve Austin beating Drew McIntyre to win would make people go home happy.
Yeah. So, no complaints, really. I think I would have KO. I think I would have KO go over on Mankind. I think it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, Mankind can't afford the loss. You're right, but
and I think Mankind could take more punishment, and he could make Kevin Owens look stronger. Because whatever, it's like a stunner or whatever off the tractor trailer onto cement or whatever the hell you want to call it. But other than that, I mean, Gunther over Bret Hart makes a lot of sense. Shawn Michaels over CM Punk. I can't see Logan Paul getting a victory over The Rock. No way, no fantasy world. And Austin going over obviously has to be the go home finish because no one's going to be going nuts for a whatever they call that kick. I'm trying to remember the kick now.
Claymore kick.
Thank you, Claymore on Austin in the ring with his broken neck and shit. And no, it has to be a stunner to shock the world. And 1, 2, 3, and Austin ends the show. I'm with you, so I'm down with that. I'm having Gunther go over on Kurt Angle to start that. I'm having Gunther go over on Kurt Angle. Again, it's going to be a lot of false finishes, submission holds. You have the ankle lock. Gunther's selling the ankle, but then just that finish with the power bombs, triple power bombs into the corner, the backflip, and, the finish, the submission, and Angle is knocked out. Ref calls it, and you have a 5-star match to start off the show. For the War Games match,
that's easy to me.
Is it? You help me out, man. Help me out.
I mean, you got on one side you got a superstar and 3 scrubs. On one side you got 4 all-stars.
Okay. It's just hard, I was leaning Bloodline. If that's what you're saying, that's where I was leaning. It's just I'm thinking like, no, you know what? It's not that hard. You're right. I was leaning Bloodline. And I think you're saying Bloodline, obviously, because you're saying the 3 scrubs.
I mean, they're not scrubs, but
I know you're
Sammy and
compared to the you got main exactly go OG Bloodline here over Degeneration X. You got the spears, the super kicks, the high spots. The other 3 got X-Pac could hold his own against the other 3 for sure. I don't know about the Road Dogg and Badass, but Triple H. It looks like a final run. He looks like he's going to make a push. Spear by Roman. 1, 2, 3. Bloodline stands tall. And then you got China versus Rhea Ripley. gonna have to roll with Rhea here. I'm gonna roll with Rhea going up on top. Again, Rhea in the ring, they're gonna put up a fun match. Not gonna be a long one. It's gonna be fun though. It's a dream match, but Rhea will go over standing tall. Rock, People's Champ versus Cody Rhodes. I'm going with The Rock here. So Attitude Era picks up its first win on this card. Gonna go with The Rock over Cody.
Crybaby Cody.
Cody.
I wish you would have put that instead of American Nightmare Cody. Crybaby Cody.
Cody hits 3 crossroads. He goes for the 1, 2, 3. It doesn't work. He tries to go for 3 more. Rock turns around, rock bottom, elbow, 1, 2, 3. Rock goes over, arm in the air. Heartbreak Kid versus AJ Styles. This is a lot of fun. And the move that pops up in my head is the phenomenal forearm. And you think about that Shelton Benjamin finish. Mm-hmm. Goes up for the phenomenal forearm. It looks like Shawn Michaels is going to be done. Sweet chin music. 1, 2, 3. He falls on top. He does that sweet chin music and he falls over. Like he always falls on it. 1, 2, 3. Michaels wins. Awesome match. And yes, this could go either way. And it could make sense either way. Cena versus Austin to finish the show. But what would be the better finish? What would make people happy at the end of the day? And I think what would make people happy at the end of the day is Stone Cold Steve Austin as the victor. Cena puts him up for the attitude adjustment, goes to throw him over. He does it enough where Austin lands at his feet. Cena goes for the pin, turns around. No, wait, he's still standing. Double bird, kick, stunner. 1, 2, 3. Austin wraps up the show, standing tall and as the winner and as the greatest of all time. So there you go. We got Gunther, Bloodline, Rhea, Rock, Shawn Michaels, Austin finishing the show as the victors for the greatest card of all time. Attitude Era versus the Modern Day Era. Bobby's match. Bobby's card. There you go.
Good times.
Isn't it? It's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. First off, I freaking love doing this. I love obviously doing the show with you, and we had that little run, talking Harry Potter and casting and shows and games, and first off, Red Dead Redemption is one of, if not the greatest. I think it tops. Grand Theft Auto is fun. Red Dead tops it because that's straight up fantasy world. You're a cowboy at that point.
It's the best.
You can do anything in it. Go get a bath. Let the hooker give you a bath. Enjoy
best.
it. Right? You're in the middle. What I love about that game is you could be riding a horse and this was straight up. You go and all of a sudden, you see a body hanging on a tree, and it's a murder. And now you're tracking a murder, or you're riding in the woods and you're at basically the Everglades. You see gators and shit, but all of a sudden you end up at this house with these brother and a sister, and all of a sudden they're serial killers and they're chasing you. Or, they poison you, or you shoot the sister and the brother's chasing you for life, and he's a big, which is horrible because they're lovers at the same time. But that's what's crazy about that game. You ever seen that movie, that show Westworld?
Yes.
That's what that basically is. In my scenario is you're running you're in a cowboy world. It's a great game.
I don't want to go on too on about it, but you're right. And I just want to brag, and I will, this is my biggest not one of my biggest, because nobody cares. I never fast traveled in my life in that game. I was a pure.
No, you can't.
If my horse, if it's on the other side of that, we're hauling. And sometimes I just don't get there. Sometimes I just don't get there because I'm doing side quests, or I'm meeting this guy over here. He needs my help. This guy over here needs my help. I need to get. There's so much to do.
Yeah, it's a whole other world, and okay, well, get to a spot where you stop, you save the game. And it's like you're basically sleeping. You wake up the next day. It's one of the greatest, for sure.
Video game talk show coming up.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. We could go for a whole other hour on that, but we won't. And and again, Bigfoot, New Jersey Devil, Ghost. I just did I read a book at my son's school as a mystery reader. My son didn't know it was me. I surprised him. That's cool. And I put, they were like, oh, hints. Grew up in Hialeah. And one of my things was, of course, I run a sports YouTube channel, and one of the things was, I ain't afraid of no ghost. And the teacher asked me, it was an old lady. She's like, I ain't afraid of no ghost. I said, I ain't afraid of no ghost. I don't know how far I can go. I love ghosts. I mean, judge me all you want. I love a good ghost story. But anyway, or real legit, like going hunting, ghost hunting and stuff. Living in Tennessee, it's great. Go to a Civil War, turn on your camera, take pictures, do voice recordings, all into that shit. But anyway, that's another episode for another day. Josh, any final thoughts, brother?
No, man, it's been a blast. I love this every single Saturday night. Cannot wait to get our wrap-up show, our award show. I did spoil my Wrestler of the Year, but Bobby, we got to get those categories nailed out. That's post-show, pre-show talk, but yeah. I want to get a big award show going on here.
Yeah, we definitely, and January. We'll get it that way. We have time to set it all up. Match of the year, Wrestler of the Year. Do all that shit. We'll get all our awards out, and then we'll get it rolling. Well, now it would be not hard for me, but we could do like a little video where we kind of slow, and there's your Wrestler of the Year, and this isn't. We'll go with that. But anyway, guys, we appreciate everyone who watched Crazy Dolphin. We appreciate you for participating in the comments, man. So awesome, always have you. But everyone who tuned in, we appreciate you. Hit that like and subscribe button. If you watch the show after we are live, do us a favor. Obviously subscribe, hit the notification bell so you join us live. But most importantly, put in the comments. First off, which card did you enjoy? And also, though, what is your dream card for Attitude Era versus Modern Day Era? And maybe put in comments though what topic you would like us to discuss on a future episode. That'd be pretty cool too to kind of get your idea of it. Yep. But that's Josh Kimmel. I'm Bobby Melendez. Appreciate you guys watching. Good night. We'll see you guys next